Don't let them pins touch that, because then you're just going to short everything out, mate.
Yeah.
Good damage it! Wait, let me... Good morning, and happy Friday. It's just before 6. This morning, we have something completely different on the agenda. One of my local sites had the idea of installing RGB lighting in their car wash bays, but they didn't just want it to be RGB. They wanted it to be addressable RGB, which means you can make patterns, etc. And also, they wanted to be able to assign different patterns to different parts of the wash cycle. So I had to think about this for a little while and found some open source software called WLED, which you can install on the little processor boards such as an ESP32. And I know the ESP32 because I do also make my own custom bay timers, vacuum timers, to replace the likes of the LED6, LED7, Jim Coleman, 1034S, etc. And I said to the customer, look, I think this is the way that we should go if you want to save some money. And then also what I did is I did some research into the addressable LED strips, and there's a whole thing about this. There's a whole thing that I've been missing out on, and every type of light have got certain part numbers that I think originate from China. Anyway, long story short, came up with the idea to use a WS2814. So it's addressable RGB, but it's 24 volt. And the reason for picking a 24 volt one is that if we're installing this on the machines and on the bay walls, the length of run is going to be quite long. And if we're going to be putting the cable into the egress chain, or energy chain, we want the voltage to be as high as possible, so the current is low as possible, so the cable diameter can be as small as possible, kind of. So anyway, we went with the 24 volt ones. The customer, he's purchased the parts, he's made a control box. He's having some issues at the moment trying to get the thing to work, and also he wants me to do the final wiring and commissioning. So we're heading there now to have a look for the first time. So this site has a Oasis Typhoon, I believe it's called. It's got a separate dryer bridge and even a conveyor style tire shine applicator, which is not very common in Australia, at least not for a drive-through car wash. Yoo-hoo! How's it going? Streaming live to YouTube. Well, I'm half an hour early. What time did you get here?
Like 20 minutes ago.
Ah.
Not working there today. I don't know if the DN pin actually...
As long as you haven't blown anything up, we're alright.
None of them are connected up either.
Eh?
None of them are connected up either, just with just to test it.
I've read about that.
Yeah.
Noise in the data line. So you've got your 24 volt, yeah?
Yeah.
And are you running the data line in a separate cable?
Yeah.
You are? But are those cables side by side?
Yeah. Testing it. That's a good.
Well, let's have a look inside.
Oh, my cable manager.
Well, I thought that's what I was here to do, isn't it? Wire it up.
No, it's just...
I'm just here for moral. So I'm just here for moral support, am I?
No, I need your help wiring the bag.
What's all this, man?
Look at this.
Oh. Woo. Mint. Did you check the 24 volt output with the multimeter?
24.12.
Right. Because when it's finally terminated, we'll measure the voltage at the LED strip, see how much voltage drop we've got,
Yeah.
and if it has dropped down a bit, we might be able to just tweak the output slightly on the power supply.
So I'll try and wire this up. Oh wait, fuck, that's why I haven't set up the...
Don't let them
GPI.
pins touch that, because then you're just going to short everything out, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, so we've got his level shifter.
I don't know if 5 volt you can get from here or not.
I know it works both ways, 3.3 to 5 or 5 to 3.3, but when I was looking at the schematic for it, I wasn't too sure either, to be honest. It's a good job this stuff's inexpensive, you know, because you can't just guess and shove wires wherever you want, mate. .5 volts. Yeah. It is saying 4.5 on mine as well, but yeah. VN, you're right. Supposed to be 5 volts. Are these the WS2814s?
Yeah.
Is that 5 meters?
Yeah.
So can I steal one?
Yeah.
And did you get more than one level shifter?
Yeah, but I've got as many as I could 3.
Can I steal one of them as well?
Yeah.
I'll just put them in my van, and then regardless what happens today, I can have a play myself with my own ESPs, and we'll see if we're getting, you know, similar results. Oh, that looks different. It's doing something different outside.
Yeah. You know, things are strangling.
Oh, cheers, mate. Have you connected it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing RGB outside, but it still looks a bit odd.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's addressable though. It shouldn't. It should be all red, all green, all blue. No, that looks a bit odd to me. Have you already got a weird pattern loaded or something?
Maybe.
Let's go solid colour.
Solid.
Yeah, go solid. See if any one of the solid colours actually looks solid. Oh my god. Seizure warning, I'm going to have to put that on YouTube now. Should have bench tested it with like just tiny wires. Right, I give up. See you later. Maybe we have to look at this logic shifter then. Maybe that's not wired up right, so I have to bring up the diagram on that and we'll see if we can figure out if it's right or wrong. And then, oh wait a minute, you're on transmit here. No. I reckon that should be receive. This is transmitting.
Yep.
So this board needs to receive, and then it'll transmit there. I reckon, so maybe.
Way around, basically.
But I'm not sure if you've got the voltage the right way around. Oh yeah, low voltage. Yeah. So I wonder if it should be receive. I can't read this writing. I'm going blind. Yep, 4.6 volts. Woohoo! Alright, let's go and have a look outside, see if anything's changed. Wow, that's solid at least. But it's the wrong colour, is it? Okay. Maybe might have to bring up the exploded schematic for that level shifter so we're not guessing. We're going to end up breaking something. Good job everything's cheap. This is why you need to bench test, because now we have to keep walking outside to see if anything's different. How are we going to wire them up then?
That's why you're here.
No, I was supposed to wire that bit up.
Do it.
But that's not my job, mate. How are we going to get the cables in here? The supply cable and everything.
Through the wall.
Eh?
Through the roof.
Through the roof?
Yeah.
You think I'll get on the roof? I thought you'd done all of this, mate. You were supposed to run the cables and then I connect them together.
Oh, right.
That's what you're supposed to do. Same as you're supposed to run the cables through the energy chains.
No, I'm not going to do the bridges.
See, for me, that's a lot easier than actually doing these.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Done. You don't have to fasten it to a wall or drill any holes, just pull it through the chain.
No, I I had to open up all these bits because I did one through the energy chain. It took me about an hour to open up.
It is easier with two people, but
Yeah.
I could just poke me snake through it
Oh yeah.
and then pull a cable through. Alright, that's not helping us right now. So I think if you're going to do it, we'll do it properly. 100mm square junction box, 3 glands. So 2 coming in, power and data. You've got the multi-cores right now. You've got the cable.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that one there, we can just stuff them into a 16mm cable gland and it's already watertight. And then we've got an access point. I think this is not going to be a today job. I really don't.
Okay.
I don't think it is, mate. Maybe I'll give you a proper shopping list.
Yep. Something in the middle.
Right, we need to put this down on a piece of paper, mate. We need to plan it out. Because we need to know where all these junction boxes are going to go.
Yep.
It's the 6 P's, Sam. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. I'm just thinking whether we put a tiny junction box on each end. But when you get your conduit and your corrie and your glands, they all need to be the same colour.
They all need to be.
Yeah, grey or cream. So you pick the colour and then make sure you get all of these things in the same colour.
I'm gonna do the different colours if they seal off.
I would get them ones because they won't rust.
Yeah.
So you use your normal gland there,
Yeah.
and then you get that adapter, and then your corrie will go in there.
Yeah.
I think that'll be enough. So we're all right with that. You've got a shopping list.
Yep.
You can run it.
Yep.
I'll send you the picture now. It should be pretty easy for you. Okay, but what's the problem again?
Keeps getting stuck.
So you drive in.
Yep.
It drives at that end.
Yeah.
It's coming this way.
Yep.
Then what happens?
Stops.
Right at the back.
VFD fault. Yeah.
All right. Have you got any count errors?
Yes, but I think it's because it stopped when I.
Right. So it's getting jammed. It's not hitting the end stop. It's getting jammed.
Yeah.
Well, close it. Close it and we'll have a look after this guy. Fault on extending.
Extending means it's moving back.
That way?
Yeah.
So, but the point is it's getting stuck both directions then?
Yeah.
And it's tripping the VFD, is it? Or
sometimes, yeah, you'll get the VFD drive status is not equal running.
right, so have you actually seen it happen?
Yeah, it happened this morning. It was just stuck like in the middle.
Does it sound like it's a mechanical jam or is it just stopping? Is it in here?
It could be in the car. Yes, the VFD.
That one, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, let's have a quick look at it then. Is that moving now, is it? 79 amps.
Yeah.
No way.
Is that too much? Or
That's ridiculous. Well, that'd blow up at that. So that's not reading correct. I don't think. We need to look at it from there. There's no way that's pulling 80 amps. Not a chance. Fucking VFD manuals, mate. They're like 1,000 pages long. An hour to get to what you want to look at. There, 6003. I tried that on this one. See, these are on amps, right? Amps. But and the menu's on D003. But as soon as you say enter on D003,
there you go. Fix.
what? How did you do it?
I don't know.
Done it. Right. Okay. Move the thing. If that says 80 amps now, I'm gonna cry. There's no way that's 80 amps. It's not capable of 80 amps output. See, 1.2 amps. Right, we better go outside and have a look. Now I understand why you said you changed the V-rollers and stuff. Because I didn't know what you were talking about, man. Oh, it's bright in here. But wait a minute, didn't you do the rollers after the problem started?
Yeah.
Just drive it anyway. Take. So on the rollers at the top, it's just sat on top.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you should have a little bit of backlash. It should rattle a little bit, I think. 27, but if it don't make sense, we'll just get a tape measure out. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That's way out.
That's what I mean.
That's miles out.
Yeah.
You got a tape measure?
Yeah.
So top tooth is 520, 528, 528, 595. Yeah, I was thinking somehow you disengage that side and push it. Oh, that just jumped when I undid that last one. There's a reason why one's a lock nut and the rest are not. Ah, dear, oh dear. Ah. In that drawer there. Got dirty hands? Fourth? Don't even touch it. But his dirty hands all over my beast. Oh, it's gonna drop, you're gonna damage it. Wait, let me. Come on, you animal. Fixed. I just fixed it. Just pushed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it'll go some more. But it's whether or not it's actually square, like I said. Yeah, it really wanted to move that way on its own. Yeah. Well, hang on then.
Please charge it in time.
There we go, how about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gives the gear then, mate. That wasn't too difficult, was it? There we go.
See, now you love the Oasis machines.
Please charge.
Does it look like I love these Oasis machines? Right, give me a minute, because some chick's moaning in my ear that she's running out of battery. I'm not surprised, I've been here for ages. Shut up! Alright, so my battery died before we got to finish that job. Not sure if I'll include it in the video or not. But they had a problem with the Oasis Dryer. They changed the V-rollers on top, and what they'd done is they'd also took the gears off the rack, and when they put them back on, the machine was twisted. So as it's going up and down, they're having intermittent issues with it stopping, purely because there was like 7 teeth out on the rack. It's causing the machine to twist and snag. Well, that's what I think it would have been anyway. I haven't observed the fault myself, but anyway, we straightened that up. Gonna get off site. I've given Sam a shopping list to get more things related to the LED installed, just so we can make it nice and pretty. We didn't get to a point where we could get one strip working reliably, so I'm going to take away a couple of strips, one of the logic level converters, 24 volt power supply, and I'm going to get a test bench hooked up at home with one of my ESP32 boards, which hopefully I've got some spares. So yeah, once I'll work out how to get the LED running. Sam's going to get the stuff to help us install it properly on the wall, and then it'll be another revisit to actually get it done. Okay, and now we're off to site down at Joondalup, the old Laser Wash M5. Alright, let's see what problem we have here today.
Alright, I know what the problem is.
Have you you don't know how to fix it? That's good, that's why I'm here. Because I'm not going to drive an hour and turn up the freeway for you to cancel it. I'd say get... No, well, it won't go left because the arm's facing that way, but the arch is not rotating. Whoa! Wow! Yeah, no. Oh, she's... I'd say it's seized. Yeah, so it looks like the arch rotate gearbox is seized. You need a new gearbox, minimum. It's not the quickest job in the world either. Oh dear. It's always before the weekends. It's because you have to press alternative button and then do it, and then it ignores the safeties. That's a nasty job, that. I'm gonna get my ladders out and have a closer look. You might get away with just the gearbox, but usually when we do that, there's other parts that need to be replaced as well. Depends how rusted out things are up there. Let's have a look. Oh, so it doesn't look too bad up here. I think the gearbox is seized, but that is really stiff. Let's put a pen mark there. We'll just make sure the swivel's actually rotating. Should go to get a bit of movement out of it just by grabbing the hockey stick. Yeah, so the swivel's rotating. It has to be the gearbox. So I think we'll just pop the motor off. Oh dear. Oh. Yeah, okay, so the arch impact mechanism is just stiff by the looks of that. I actually got this to move for a couple of rotations earlier, but then it's got stuck again. So you've definitely had an impact, because you remember this collar that was stuck up.
That's the gearbox, isn't it?
This is the motor, which I think is working fine. Okay, so the motor test's okay. This cable's fairly new. It shouldn't be two phases in the energy chain. Yeah, this is starting to get a little strange. I don't usually do it like this, leaving the cable attached, but I just want to make sure that it is the gearbox. Alright, that's the motor out. Okay, so it's getting stiff here. Why is it getting stiff? Oh, these are a pain. Oh, and now it's working. Wow, okay. Now it's working for some reason. And all I've done is taken the motor off, turn the gearbox shaft a few times. Doesn't make sense to me. Finish tightening these bolts up and then just keep playing with it, I guess. Well, see how that goes now. It's all... Oh, it's locked up there again, and all I've done is tighten bolts down in the motor. There is something strange going off with this Gearbox. Alright, this is crazy, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's definitely an issue with the gearbox, because when the motor is fully torqued in, it's jamming up. However, if I leave a small gap, it turns freely. Now it's Friday, mid-morning. The site doesn't have any parts. They're probably gonna have to order them. So this is, and I hate to say it, going to be a really shoddy quick fix. But at least if it does fix it, gets them running through the weekend, they can order. Probably need a motor anyway, a motor and a gearbox, and then we can book this in one early morning, because it's a fairly involved job, especially when everything's rusted out and difficult to get apart. So I want to give this a few spin ups. If it works alright, I'll put the cover back on, close the covers on the machine, do a couple of test washes and see how it goes. But yeah, that's not gonna last very long like that. I'm actually using 2 of the bolts to push the motor out and 2 of the bolts to pull the motor in, so we keep this consistent gap, which is allowing the gearbox a bit of play, and so it doesn't jam up. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, button this horrible thing up and see if we can get a few washes out of it. If so, the site can order new parts, and we'll take the whole thing apart next week. Not looking forward to this job. And we'll definitely have to replace that swivel. It's almost separated. I'd be surprised if that's not already leaking, to be honest. The cam looks okay. We'll probably get this shaft as well that runs through the gearbox. The arch impact mechanism is knackered anyway. It has been for a while, but just didn't want to spend the money on it. So, but if we're taking that apart, we'll probably have to clean it all up and might be able to get it working again anyway. But I've never ever, and I would hope I never have to do it again, is separate a motor and gearbox like that just to get it running. It's kind of ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous. That's not even a song, is it? Right, that's not going anywhere. That's leaking in there, so that needs to cover that. See, they've got the seal kit on the arch just fails like within a week of replacing it, because the entire weldment is worn, and that's been like that for over a year now. Because they don't want to spend the money on the arm to fix it properly, so it just ends up with patches of repairs here, there and everywhere. Garbage. Alright, just my luck, it'll just stop working again now. Actually sounds quite smooth as well. It's a funny one. Alright, let's do a wash. Okay, so I'll do a little bit of a shopping list for the customer. He can order the parts, and hopefully this thing keeps running at least over the weekend and the beginning of next week. Should hopefully see the parts on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll be back in to replace them all. Alright, that's the shopping list done for this one at Edgewater. Like 3.5 grand's worth of parts. It's one of those jobs, if you're going to do one part, then you need to do the other, and if you're going to do that part, then you need to do the other. So motor, gearbox, hollow shaft, bearings, some washers, some other fittings and fixtures, that's going to be a bit of a big job. But anyway, hopefully the machine stays running until we do that job. Now I'm going to go to a supplier, because I've got another small project ongoing. I've got a customer that's got 6 relatively new laser wash units, and there's 3 standard grease points on those machines. You have the main swivel, which is this, enables the arch to rotate. We've got a grease nipple on that, and then we got 2 standard bearings, 1-inch bearings, so 3 main grease points. But what the client has asked me to do, he wants me to come up with a way so that his attendants don't have to get up on the top of their ladders every week to grease these machines. So what I came up with is an automatic greasing unit. Basically, it's just a reservoir 100 ml. It's held back by a spring, so you pump this up with grease, you fill the reservoir 100 ml. The spring then has that grease under pressure, and it'll push it out the hole. And then what you do is you set the dial for how many months you would like that 100 ml reservoir to last. We'll be right at the maximum, which is about a year, I would say, but we can tweak that. So yeah, all I need to do now is go to the supplier, get some flexible grease lines, probably 6 ml, with some compression fittings. I need to go from that, it's probably about 200 ml, so we can, just cable tie or clamp this somewhere on the machine close to the bearing or the swivel, and then we'll replace this grease nipple with a compression fitting. I think it's going to work well. I'm going to experiment with his 2 busiest machines in Canning Bridge. So yeah, I'm just basically collecting parts at the moment to get this done. So I'll go and pick up the grease lines now, and then obviously I have this LED controller thing to figure out as well for one of the other project jobs that we've got on. So cool, I'll go and pick those parts up. It's Friday, so unless I get another call, that'll be me done for the day. Couplers. Let's hope they can help me couple some things together. Alright, so that wasn't a 100% successful outcome, all because the grease nipples on the swivel and the bearings have got a really funny thread, and they didn't have the compression fitting on the shelf to make it work. So I got applicator Doughty seal, socket, compression fitting, then we've got the 6 ml grease tubing, which will then go to some other type of compression fitting to replace the grease nipple. But it's this for that thread that they're struggling to source. So I've actually left the bearing with them, which has the same grease nipple on it, and I guess I'll just have to catch up with them in a week or so. Hopefully they can sort me out, and then we can get these projects done. Okay, I was in there for almost an hour. Very helpful in there though they are. 1 PM, so I'm definitely going home now. Getting a little bit thirsty too. Good morning. It's a Sunday at 7:30. Just following up with this LED project. So in the last video we couldn't quite get it working on site, so I brought a power supply and a LED strip back home. So I'm in my little projects desk at the moment, rather messy projects desk, and I've got one of my ESP32s hooked up that I use in my other projects. We've got the logic level shifter, and actually it's working. So now we can actually change the colors properly now, red, green. We can also do some effects as well, which is working quite well. So I think the only problem we had was we had the wrong selection for the type of LED, and we had to swap around some of the colors. And yeah, the logic shifter, the diagram that we was given for that was wrong, which I thought initially. So we just had to swap that around a few times to get it working. And it wasn't just me that figured this out. Sam's been working on it as well this weekend. And so yeah, we've got working strips now. So Sam's going to get some of his guys to install the conduit and the corrie because I wasn't happy with just stringing them in the bay. But I also haven't really got time to do that work, so they're going to put the conduit up and the corrie and maybe pull the cables for me, and then I'll go back and do a final retermination. So yeah, we're coming along quite well now.